So feeling overwhelmed is kind of one of the taboo areas of business, in that I think business owners and entrepreneurs don't like to admit that either they have felt overwhelmed or that they're feeling it at the moment. But the reality is, if you are that entrepreneur, if you are that solopreneur, that business owner, chances are you've either felt overwhelmed or you're feeling it at the moment, because it's one of the pitfalls of business. There are ways to get through it, there are ways to avoid it or lessen it, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Keep watching. Hey, Mike Blissett here, founder of Speak Like a Pro Online, sharing ideas, tools and techniques to help you speak with more confidence, make better videos and grow your business. On this channel you'll see how to book reviews and tech videos just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And in today's video we're going to be looking at the area of overwhelm, how you can avoid it if you see the potential of it happening in your life and business, or if you're feeling it at the moment, how maybe you can start to alleviate it and just kind of turn the intensity of it down a little bit so that you can move forward on a more constant and even and a gentler footing. Number one is to plan. And whilst that sounds really obvious, what I mean is getting these great ideas from your head, all the good stuff, down onto something. Now, I'm a to-do list person. I have a journal, and I've talked about that in previous videos. But two things that I also use that really help me with this, and I use this on a daily basis constantly, one is my calendar. And as you may or may not know, I use a Mac, an Apple person. So I've got my iPhone and my MacBook Pro and an iPad, and so I use the calendar app on that. And so whether you're on Google or whether you use Google, or whether you're Android or Samsung or whatever it is, they've got their versions of everything I'm going to talk about. So the thing is, I put obviously my appointments, my coaching sessions, my speaking engagements, training, etc. It goes in my calendar, and whichever a device I put that entry on, then it's synced up with a cloud, and I'm on the iCloud, but whichever cloud you're on, it will do the same. And so when I go to that device, I see that and see any notes I've attached to things I need to remember, or research I need to do, or preparation I need to take part in. So again, it takes the busyness out of my head and puts it onto something. And for me, it's a device that I can, whichever one I pick up, it's there. And also on my Mac, and there are corresponding similar versions of this on whichever PC or Android device you use as well. I use something in the Apple world they call Notes. And it's where I put a little bit longer version notes on, so ideas and things I'm exploring. For example, if I'm putting together a new talk or a workshop, or if I'm developing something, I'm actually writing a book at the moment, so I put it in notes, and you can categorize it with colors, you can give it titles, you can have search terms on there, and it just makes it, again, it takes this stuff that could be overwhelming and puts it somewhere so that I'm in control of it, rather than it starts to control me and overwhelm me. That's the whole point of planning. And that moves us into the second idea that I'm going to share with you, and this is to check in. And what I mean by that is when you've actually put your ideas on whichever device or medium that you're going to use, whether it's a physical journal, whether it's an online app, or whatever it is that you use, it's about checking in with them and seeing where you are in relation to that as well. And there is a couple of apps that some of my colleagues and people that I follow on the internet, on YouTube, recommend, and I've used one of them, and the other one I'm about to start a free trial just to see how it might work for me. And the first one is something called Trello. And by the way, there's so many of these kind of ideas and apps out there. These are just two that I know of. With Trello, it's that like you have columns. And so, for example, the first column is where you put all the different tasks, all the things that need to happen. And then as you start working on them, or as they are being worked on, then you can move that particular task over to the next column. And this means that it's something that's actually being actioned. It doesn't mean it's finished yet, but it's being actioned. And it stays on the actioned column until it's actually being completed, and then you move it onto the next column. And you can drag and drop and move these things around. That's how it works. And so the idea is you can just see in a really clear view. And again, the Trello syncs up with your phone and your computer and all this kind of stuff. And it's Android and also iOS. So whichever device you've got, you can use it. After saying all that, I was watching a brilliant video from somebody on YouTube that I follow last week, just a few days ago. And he was mentioning this, very similar to Trello, but a little bit more sophisticated, this app called To Do. And again, I will put a link to it just below this video. And then the final idea that I'm going to share with you, something that I always use as well, is this concept of reaching out. There is a song, I think Diana Ross and the Supremes, Reach Out and I'll Be There. I'm not going to sing it for you now, but it's a great song if you want to Google it afterwards. But this reaching out is really important in business, because even though we may be, the nature of what we do, we're solopreneurs, we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, we've got a business, whether it's online or offline, or if you're like me, you've kind of got a combination of both. And whether you're a coach or a trainer or a speaker or a mentor or a consultant, a manager, maybe, I'm sure I've missed some out, but this kind of in the people space, chances are you're doing it alone. You're doing it by yourself. And whilst it's your big idea and it's your way to make your difference in the world and it ticks all the boxes, that's great. At the end of the day, it can also get a bit lonely. You can start to feel isolated. And the bottom line is that as human beings, we are sociable creatures. Now, what that means for you, because we're all different sociable creatures, is whatever it means for you. But I'm not just talking about social media, because yeah, it's a connection, but I'm talking about real connection, face to face, in the room, exchanging not just ideas and conversations, but energy and enthusiasm and all the rest of it with people, because as sociable creatures, we need that to some degree, whatever that level or that degree is for you. So just think about how you can do that, how you can build that into your life, into your business model. Obviously, there's things like networking and business networking, which is great. For me, I've talked about this in several videos now. I'm a member of some mastermind groups. I have been through the years. At the moment, I'm a member of 2. And I was actually watching somebody else's video on YouTube quite recently, and it sounds like all I do is watch YouTube videos, but they were talking about mastermind groups, and for them that name doesn't really work. It sounds a bit too businessy for them, so they call them Jedi Councils. I mean, what a cool name is that? Wow! So I'm a member of 2 Jedi Councils. That sounds so good. So just think about how that would be for you, whether it would be face-to-face, would it be via Zoom. Just to give you a bit of background, you probably know this if you watch my other videos. My 2 mastermind groups, one of them is with somebody that I talk every week with via, it's a mixture of Zoom and Skype, whichever connection we got on that particular day. But we've been doing that for several years now. And it's just some really important way to connect with another like-minded person that's on a similar journey, and we share ideas and we motivate and we pick each other up and equally challenge each other, and it's just a great thing to do. And then the other one, the other mastermind group or Jedi Council, is a bunch of fellow speakers, and we meet up in London at one of our houses or in a central coffee shop or whatever once a month for a day. And again, it's just an incredible connection. So just think about what that would be for you, whether it would be reaching out, would it be networking, would it be attending events, would it be doing trainings, would it be meeting fellow delegates, would it be working in kind of co-working environments where you do actually co-work with people rather than just people sit in isolation? Or would it be things like mastermind groups or maybe even Jedi councils? So just think about that. So question of the day, how do you avoid overwhelm? Leave your comments in the box immediately below this video. And if you've got any questions or suggestions for future videos, again, leave them in the boxes below. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell so you get to know when I upload a new video. Remember, this channel is all about sharing ideas, tools, and techniques to help you speak with more confidence, make better videos, and grow your business online. I'm Mike Blissett. Take care.